English, greetings. God bless you, brothers and sisters. Hey, we are here with a special needs class, and we're excited to be on lesson number 3 for special needs. Thank you, Monse. Nice. So we have reviewed a couple of things. We are working through this book here that we'll have available for you soon in English. And what we learned the last lesson was the schedule, a visual schedule or a sequence panel so you can see what's happening in class. So this helps for special needs children or niños, children with disabilities. So what we're doing right now is a special video training to help those children who come to your church who have a disability. So this could be like Down syndrome or autism or mute or deaf, or that they're in a wheelchair for some reason, they can't walk, or there could be brain limitations. And all these different disabilities, there's things we can do to help those children come to our church. And sadly, in our churches today, there are many places where the parents don't feel welcome to bring their children to church because of their disability. So what we want to do is make them feel welcome to come so they can learn about God. And honestly, the only way to do this is to have a little bit of training for your teachers. So if you are the teacher, thank you for being today with us so you can see this video and be trained, show the love of God to your students. All right, so today what we're going to look at first is some resources to download. So we're going to have our sequence panel with these pictures available for you on our new CMU is what it's called, My CMU, or My Children's Ministry University. So you want to go to childrenareimportant.com/mycmu, and you'll find training resources for teachers. So today what we're looking at is keywords. So ways that you can show keywords to the children and help them understand the class. So you're going to want to anticipate. So just reviewing really quick, for example, before prayer time, you're going to show the student the card that says prayer and also has a picture of a child praying. And then you put the clock by it to show the child who has a disability with a visual item that it's now time to pray. So then you want to anticipate what's coming up next. So next you'll say, okay, next we're going to be singing songs. And so you tell them ahead of time. It helps them with the transition from the prayer to the singing. And just to remind you, you can start with a few of these. You don't have to have all the cards at the beginning when you first start working with a child who has a disability. You can just start with 2. I'm going to use the lesson and the prayer, for example, until you get practiced. So what we want to show you a little bit about is how to prepare for a class. Now you can use any curriculum you want, and we used Submerge in the Word by Children Are Important. So again, if you go to our website, you can find a Sunday school program, and it's called Submerge in the Word. So here we go. And I wonder if you can show the camera there, Monse. You want to go to Children Are Important and then Submerge in the Word, and you can find this program is available in English for you to teach the class. Okay? So I'm going to use lesson 8 right now for this class. We're going to use lesson 8, Joseph and his brothers. Okay, so the main words that we're going to look at are, God has a plan for me. So we want to say, the main lesson says, God has a plan for me. So we want to use that main phrase and help children who have different disabilities to understand better what it is. Okay? So let's see real fast. What we're going to do is make these cards. All right. So here's God. And here's the image. So what we did here is Flor made like a little cloud, like it was up in the sky. Obviously, God's not in the sky. He's everywhere, but it does help children with to have a picture to grasp, okay, who's God or what to see God, because not all of them are going to be able to read the word. Okay, so we have a picture there of God being a cloud in the sky. And next we have plan. So here's the word plan. You want to write with letters that are round and easy to read. And we have here a light bulb that can go with plan. So you can go, ding. All right. And here's me. God has a plan for me. And then there's a picture of a girl. Of course, it depends on who you're working with. If the child that you're working with is a boy, you're going to want a picture of a boy, right? Okay. So who does this effort of making these cards? Well, you want the monitor to do the work, but you can also start by picking out the key phrase. So in this lesson we have here, lesson 8 of Submerge in the Word, it has the key phrase already said there. God has a plan for me. So it's easy for you to go, okay, that's going to be my key phrase for today's lesson. So then it's pretty easy to pick out the large words that God, plan, and me. So those are our main words. So you want to make sure that your child who has a disability can understand the main words. So you want to cover them and repeat, 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 repeat. So you might get bored, but you need to just keep going, and then you'll see more comprehension in your child that you have there. So you want, the teacher is going to be preparing their own lesson, right, to give to the whole class, and that teacher can do the same rate that they would normally do. They're going to teach the class like they would normally do it, and you as a monitor are going to stay with the child who has a disability in the class and participate in the lesson like normal, but then afterwards you want to take your child who has the disability and run through these words and have the cards already ready. So the monitor is staying with the child who has a special need and is helping them understand. So you want to always use the same term for your Bible lesson. So you're going to use your visual schedule and show them, okay, it's time for the Bible lesson. So here I have the word lesson. It's in Spanish, but it looks similar. And what you're going to want to do is always say, okay, now it's time for the lesson. You want to use the same word so that as the weeks go by, the child who is in your class who has a disability gets more and more comfortable being there. So you say, okay, it's time for the lesson. And then after the teacher teaches, you're going to sit there with the student and go through the main key words. So, for example, you can ask, who has a plan for you? Now, for example, if you're talking to a child, you can say, we'll use the name Jimena. So if you're talking to Jimena and that's her name, you could say, who has a plan for Jimena? And show her these cards. Go, who has a plan? And it might say, me. You have a plan for Jimena? So you help them to where they go, oh, God has a plan. Then you ask, okay, for whom does God have a plan? Who's God thinking about and has a plan? With the hope they could say, me, they could say, Jimena, or they could grab a picture of themselves that you may have right there. All right, so then you want to say, does God has what for you? What does God have? And you can say, does God have a plan or does God have ice cream? And here's a picture. We've got plan and we've got ice cream. So now you're saying to Jimena, does God have a plan or does God have ice cream for me? Now, she might say ice cream. At which point you don't want to say, no, you got that wrong. Of course it's not ice cream. There's not going to fall ice cream from the heavens. No, you don't want to say that they're wrong or anything. You just want to be really calm and go, oh, are you sure? God God has ice cream for you? Are you sure? And then if they're still like, yes, God has ice cream, you can say, well, I think God has a plan for you. What do you think? So you're just reinforcing the lesson till they say it, they repeat it, and they can choose the plan over the ice cream. But never, of course, chew them out or get angry at them when they get it wrong. Just keep going, are you sure? Well, I don't know. I think that God has a plan for me. Good. Okay, so when the monitor is speaking to the child, you always want to remember to be excited. So you're saying stuff like, hi, Jimena, thanks for coming to church today. You don't want to be like all busy and like working on something else. Oh, hi, Jimena, I'm glad you came. You want to be excited, look them in the eyes, and always speak with excitement and a smile. So this is very important, especially when you have Down syndrome, for example. You want to always be excited and smiling and kind and have patience, which of course is difficult. So as a monitor, you're going to want to know the order of the class. So you don't need to use all of the cards that we provided for you in the visual schedule. You just need to use the ones that your class is covering. So depending on your curriculum. So you can adapt your curriculum. You can use your curriculum and adapt how you prepare for that child who has a disability or a special needs child based on the curriculum. So whatever sections are there, you can make a card for your visual schedule and help the child process what's coming up next. All right, so these are the items, and soon, if you want to do it more professionally, you can see here is the professional way where you put the words on typed up. I don't know if Monse, you can bring that up to the camera for me. So you want to have them typed. Right, so here's the pictures that go with it. Monse, if you could set that next to it. So this is another way you can prepare your cards for each lesson, having them typed up. All right, very good. So we're very excited about you preparing yourself to work with disabilities, children with disabilities or special needs children. Okay, so we have a graduation coming up next week for those of you who want a certificate for taking this course. So all we ask is that you do 2 items. What we asked last week was that you make your own panel of sequence, or you could call it a visual schedule. So it's just a simple drawing and then the name for each portion of your class. So you want to make your visual schedule. And then for today's homework assignment, we're asking you to prepare one class to teach the children. So you want to pick what the key words are. In this case, we chose, God has a plan for me. Then after you choose your key phrase, you want to choose which words in there to reinforce. So we chose God, plan, and me. Then you want to make these cards. They need to stay small like this because you don't want anything that's humongous, simple and small, and then you want your words written clearly. If you make a mistake when you're writing them, just start over. You can't have a grammatical mistake or scratching it out on the card that you're giving to a child who has autism. So you want to have it correct. If you mess up, it's okay. Just make another one, or you can type them and print them out. And so that's the assignment, to prepare one class from your curriculum that you already use, whichever curriculum you're using, so that it's ready to share the class and help a child who has special needs or a disability. Okay, so next Tuesday is our graduation for those of you who are doing the homework assignment. So let me know, send me an email. My name is Kristina with a K. So you want to put Kristina at childrenareimportant.com and send me a picture of the homework that you did, and you can graduate with your certificate next week. All right, thank you very much for being with us, and we will see you in 2 days. Goodbye.